Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and this may shock you. You might want to prepare for this one. But Wizards is screwing up again. A couple days ago, you might have seen that patch that almost applied itself correctly. Lately, I don't know if it's just me. I've heard it's not, but I've also heard it's not 100% of people. So I have the most normal, vanilla, average, mostly unmodified Windows 10 install ever. So I think it's just a carryover from the beta code or something. But anytime there's the patch for Arena, I try to open it and then try to log in and it either fails, or I get in and then try to matchmake and it fails. And then I'm like, oh, it's not the server's offline. I just was supposed to download a patch and it never triggered itself. So then I have to manually run it as administrator and then it patches. So if you've ran into that, that's problem number one. That's been ongoing for like the last year for me. But then something was wrong with the code. I never did hear an exact like proven account of what was wrong. And I played that day. I didn't see a problem. Like post patch, I didn't see a problem. So it could have been draft. It could have been a wrong event. It could have been anything, deck building, I don't know. But whatever it was, they first disabled matchmaking, so basically you can't do anything, you can't play Magic, which is weird, because that's the only thing that was working for me. And then they claimed they rolled back the code, or rolled back the patch. Well, I didn't see another patch, and I definitely did the first one. So I didn't see a patch to unpatch the patch. Maybe they just like had a binary switch that they can do on the server that switches the new code off, or they keep like revisions and they just run off old code when the server tells them to or something, which would actually be pretty slick and impressive. Once again, I'm not going to go off on like a 10-minute tangent about software engineering, but if you look at their jobs page on like the Wizards, like we're hiring for the following positions, they're hiring everyone to do everything in Arena last I checked, which means there isn't anyone, which means they're probably using contractors, or the people gave their 2 weeks notice 4 weeks ago or something. The rumor is, and I've heard this from multiple sources, that the original programmers, which are from like Steam and Microsoft and all that, they left. They either got fired or left. And well, I mean, game design and game maintenance are two completely different things, so it's not even that abnormal, but it could have been Wizards like tried to cut their pay, didn't renew it, fired them out of nowhere. I mean, it's Wizards. I'm not gonna give them any kind of benefit of the doubt. If you'd like to know how they treat their employees, look up glassdoor.com. Oh my god, I should just make that video already. Or ask one of the 2 black employees that have been confirmed to, well, technically be interns there in the past 26 years. Or any of the people that sued them. And I'm shocked why people don't want to move to Seattle or work for Wizards, because both have such a stellar reputation. So anyway, that was another code screw up. I mean, every time they release something new in Arena, it doesn't work. I mean, remember, Jumpstart didn't work. The last couple events didn't work. The last patch didn't work. The launch of Crimson Vow didn't work. The launch of, I think, the last 3 standard sets didn't work. But guys, it's okay. It's all solved and everything's gonna be fine. To make up for this latest nightmare, you can put in code CourierBat. If you don't know how to spell courier, that's your own personal problem. But yes, CourierBat to get like a pile of free stuff. I'm not even sure what the template is, but they gave me some serious stuff. Coins, packs, I got like an emote. I mean, damn, like they're going hard on this one. So at least even if they have like a half day of downtime, they do compensate us with codes. So can't fault them there. And whoever's left from the original Arena team, those guys were so good at community management, so good at programming, that beta worked like flawlessly most of the time. And if there was a problem, they fixed it in like days, not weeks or months. Then they like made their own events with their own ban lists. It's like, it's nothing like what it was about 2 years ago. And that's a shame. So shout out to any of them that are still around. It's probably 0, but I just wanted to say I'm not like, oh, I'm against the whole Arena team too, because I'm not. So yeah, go put in CourierBat. I get this question all the time. If you're on mobile, apparently there's no like put in a code box in the store, which like why? But I've been told by like a million people in the community and Wizards themselves that you just have to go to my accounts with an S for some reason, .wizards.com. And then you log in and then there's like a main menu item that says like redeem a code or something like that. Also, if you type in Magic Arena Code Wiki, there is now a some kind of wiki database on some page. I don't actually remember where it's hosted. I doubt Wikipedia itself, but it's somewhere. And it's just crowdsourced like every single code ever and whether it's still valid. And you guys, like seriously, there's like 30 codes. If you just got into Arena, you could just slam codes in there. Stuff from like 2019. Some of them still work. It's wild. So if you're going to go type in CourierBat, do this too. Just a little reminder. Hell, if we're giving tips out to get free crap, unclaimed.org It's a non-profit website for US and Canada where if some company or some entity owes you money, you can just look up yourself and it's all non-profit. They're not trying to sell you anything. I made a video on it, but the title was so like clickbaity, scammy that like nobody viewed it. But I will say this specifically, that it's a good time to check it right now because the government in certain states or something started enforcing a little rule that they imposed on health insurance companies about what percentage of their income and net worth and crap has to like go to actual medical bill coverage, and a lot of them violated it, and so a lot of them owe you a check. So yeah, I had another one coming. That's like $200 so far. Now they should have notified you by mail, but if they can't and they don't know where you live, boom, it goes straight to that database. So for real, go check that out if you live in America. It's free money. Has nothing to do with magic. I just thought, I haven't mentioned it in a while. Now, I don't know if you could take one more shock here, but Donut Operator was kicked off of Twitch for 7 days. Just kidding. He was, but I'm getting multiple reports that people buying paper products from Crimson Vow are not getting the cards they're supposed to. Like missing, so-and-so slot in the booster. Like the set booster, you can look up, it's supposed to have this, then this, then this, then this, and this. And people are like, okay, I'm missing like the guaranteed showcase card. What the heck? I think one person said they're missing a card, period, as in they put the wrong number of cards in the pack. So if I'm already hearing it from this many people, I mean, every set they do this. Like there's, yeah, okay, errors happen, whatever, but like with the contractor they use, the one in Texas, the printing company, there's a lot of errors because they rush everything and they don't care. And now I think they're at the point where Wizards almost can't complain because they're so understaffed. You got COVID, you got the semi issues. They probably can't get paper, can't get ink, and can work one day and not the other. And they're having a whole nightmare just because of, I mean, let's cut the crap, Joe Biden. So I don't think this is the right year and month to go to them and say, hey, can you do better? Can you put in more effort? Because the answer is like actually no. But like 5 years ago, what was stopping them? They probably just said this is the best we can do. Our equipment is old as shit, which I have verified that actually is true. Ex-employees have said that, and they're just the cheapest printer. They rush everything. Their labor is crap. I mean, I used to work at a graphics place where about half the workforce was on work release from prison. Graphics and printing companies are not like the ideal workplace with the ideal workers who really, really care. It's more like calling AOL tech support. It's like that level of employee, but worse. But yeah, I mean, missing dice, missing promos in the pre-releases, all the normal stuff. It's so widespread, it happened to me twice. Oh, 3 times if you count the fat pack. So 2 missing dice, 1 missing promo. I opened about $6,000 worth of Oath of the Gatewatch, and 1/3 of the commons were cut so poorly I couldn't even sell them. We're talking 2 millimeters on one side and like 20 on the other. Like it wasn't even close. So there's a long history of this. It's just keep in mind, it's going to keep happening. So if you want to like buy singles instead of sealed to guarantee that you get what you're going to get, you might want to lean into that or just stop giving Wizards money, period. I mean, that's a solution. It would certainly send them a message after their alleged record year in 2020 that I don't believe at all. I keep hinting at it. Here's the graph. This is the number of unique users per week, not per day, not per, they played 10 matches per day, not per coin count, per week, as tracked by, as if I would give up my source that easily. So it goes up to Zendikar Rising. I think after that they started actually enforcing their polite request that people stop tracking it because, I'm inferring this, but because of a massive embarrassment. The one thing that's just hilarious is look at Eldraine. It got to a point in early 2019 where it was lower than it is now. Like Eldraine came out and people were just like, I'm out. I'm done. Bye. So this was from a third-party plugin, which not everybody had, but it's probably fairly representative. If anything, the really, really serious MTG players who are really into it and kind of technical and they're not just kind of dabbling with the game casually, they're the ones who are going to install this. So if anything, it's over-representing the people who play all the time. So what I'm saying is this graph, it's probably twice as bad as this if you just count like the casuals that left the game because it's unbearable. And remember, they ruined Historic by keep moving the goalpost. Now there's 1,000 new cards between Jumpstart and the anthologies and all that crap. If you count all of them, it's almost 2,000 actually. Or like 1,500, so it's absurd. New cards into the pool. So it's like, well, now boy, you got to rebuild your thing. And then this. And then we're going from, this card count to 99 plus 1 Pretend Commander for Brawl. I've compared it to them just simply taxing Historic players because that's what they're doing. They know that MTGO made a ton of money because it's other formats than Standard, and they know what people think of Standard. They take surveys every time. Mark Rosewater personally took 2 of them on 2 different platforms where his own little fan base told them that they're uncomfortable with the power level of standard right now, and that it's too high, not that it's too low, obviously. So yeah, when they say, oh, record income, it's probably just secret lairs, casuals, the up in commander stuff. I mean, they're maxing everything out to cover for the loss. So when they say record income, first of all, I don't believe them. I think they're just reclassifying stuff, because in the past, Hasbro made, on their quarterly report to their official investors, they combined all tabletop board games with Magic. And as far as I know, they never did that before. They're just like, this category, look at this big shiny number. And then they're like hoping you don't know that it's not apples to apples with the previous year or something. So they've been pulling crap like that for a while now. And I mean, just by themselves, would you put it past Wizards to lie to Hasbro and misrepresent numbers? Creative accounting, shift some debt, do some interesting write-offs, shift some stuff to cash basis instead of accrual, and change how you do inventory, sell off some assets. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to make it look good for a very short amount of time. So 2021 is going to be rough, I would expect. They might be able to keep pulling it off, but at a certain point, there's only so much you can do to sell people more crap until they're like, I'm done. I'm not going to buy, this ridiculous pace of new stuff. Remember, this year they crammed 5 standard products into 1 year. I mean, you can't really do much more than take away the Planeswalker decks and replace them with Commander decks and everything I just said plus more. Eventually, you're just out of avenues and people only have so much money. It's called wallet fatigue, or there's actually a better actual official term in economics. But so yeah, I had to throw this into a Wizards is screwing up video, because where else am I going to put it? Now remember, in early 2021, as you can see by this graph, Wizards requested and then I think started enforcing the fact that people can't track statistics from third-party stuff anymore. And it's probably because every time a set came out, or every month, or every quarter, or whatever, they release a new graph, and I mean, look where it's going. There's a very clear direction to the scatter plot. Things got a little confused with Eldraine, where it went way up, way down. I don't know what the hell was going on with Core Set 2020. I don't remember that being that bad. Oh wait, was that the Dragon one? I could be wrong. It was a while ago. I don't know how Ikoria didn't tank that hard. I guess just anybody who was willing to put up with Eldraine stuck around for Ikoria, but wow, is it fallen off a cliff. Look at all the last updates up until the start of 2021 were below the line, which means it's not just going down, it's going down at an increasing velocity. I guess if it were a ball. I don't know why I said velocity. It's a two-dimensional graph of non-moving objects, but you get it. Pretend it's a vector. Hell, pretend it's a train and it's crashing and it's derailing and all the cars are piling up, and then they hit a dumpster and then the dumpster's on fire. Lot of metaphors here, very deep. I guess the last thing I should mention, hell, I'm not even going to bother making this its own video. People are pissed at how god-awful the double feature cards look. They're not just like grayscale instead of like really hard black and white style, like what would you call it? Like pen drawings? You ever seen those? So instead of like shading with a pencil where you never really get black, but it's like really gradual and all that, so basically grayscale. If you've ever seen just black and white ink line art where it's like really hard and there's nothing in the middle, but the texture makes it look that way, or even just like over-adjusted, super mid-tone contrast, I guess is what you would call it, like stylistic choices for like modern but digitized black and white. So like pseudo vintage horror films and stuff, which, I mean, if that sounds familiar, yeah, Innistrad double feature, they literally named it that. So that's what people had in mind, and then, well, look at this. Like, what is this? So what more is there to say than, I guess I'll just fix it and show you what it should have looked like? And it's not just like, oh, that's my opinion, that's my artistic style that I would prefer. Apparently, like, everybody who responded to this on social media was on the same page, that these just don't look good. So without further ado, my corrected version. The funny thing is, I used the automatic correct tool in Photoshop that takes like 1 second, and then I did it myself and compared the layers, and they're almost identical. So they actually could have just had a computer do this for them. But one, their whole design department uses Macs, in case I haven't, mentioned that for the 25th time. And Apple users and Apple enthusiasts and people who are stuck in 2004 and think that that's what you use for anything media these days, yeah, not the best employees, not the smartest people. It's very Seattle, but it's very incorrect. And also, my copy of Photoshop is from 2006. You know how much money I dropped in this? I'm going to use it until it explodes. So yeah, that's just another thing that I guess nobody at Wizards thought, hey, does this look right? Should we adjust this? Should we send it out to 50 people in the community? Ask them which they prefer, darker or grayscale or mid-tone, like mush or pencil style, or make it look like brush strokes, and like you just do everything that's an idea, and then you ask the customer base. If your own graphic artist can't like prove that they know what they're doing, and they just seem at odds with like the overwhelming majority of your customer base. It's time to just run everything by a small sample size of your customer base. And I don't mean ex-employees, I don't mean contractors, and I don't mean ex-judges. I mean real people from the actual community, which means not Twitter and not Blogatog, real people. Hell, just pop it up in Arena. Just randomly pick 1% of people and be like, hey, which style do you like better? Of course, they'd screenshot it and leak it in 6 seconds, but, well, it'd keep you from printing a whole set that's so ugly people don't want to buy it. Oh, and also, I guess if we're on the topic, they lied. They just outright blatantly lied. They said Double Feature would have select cards from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. It actually contains every card from both of them. And it's not just, oh, they said something different, but now I get more variety for my money. Like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's a big, giant mega draft. But, like, people don't want some of the stupid, redundant, weak crap. But see, it would have taken a lot of draft playtesting, which is, like, you know, very time intensive, to get it down to, like, a functional draft thing and, like, kick out the draft oriented cards, but then keep the power ones, but not too much, and then adjust it for rarity, then balance the tribals, then balance the colors. They either ran out of time or they were just like, this is too hard, and then they just threw in everything. I kind of don't blame them, and it's kind of what I would have done, but like, have better staff that works faster or more of them or both. So I can see both sides of it, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, who's right? Look at the end result. People don't like it, and they don't want to buy it. That overrides everything. So whatever you're doing it wrong and you need to fix it because the customer's always right. Well, when they're voting with their wallets. Otherwise, the customer's actually almost always wrong. So that's it for the What's Wizard Screwing Up This Week News Hour. I'll see you guys next video.